Mr. Root emailed me and he said he's kind of funny for being kind of cryptic sometimes with his emails, and so he sent me an email that said, the subject line said, "Can you come by my office?" And then in the body of the email it said, "It's nothing bad, I promise," but no other information. So I was like, I don't know what this means. So I went by his office and he was like, "Hey, congratulations, I wanted to tell you you got Rookie of the Year." And of course that was selected by my peers and colleagues, which was a huge honor. And you know, just being nominated, even if it was just a matter of, you know, I'm a first year teacher and everybody who's first year is nominated, the fact that my colleagues even thought to vote for me would have been enough. I didn't even need to vote. I didn't even need to win. The real importance is the perseverance that it takes to do the job and the determination that it takes to get through the first year, which is really hard. Obviously, I think every first year teacher would say that their first year is the hardest year, right? Because you're learning all the new things, you're learning all the new processes, you're learning how to teach, you're learning trial and error, you're learning what works and what doesn't work. You are faced with students who know that you're a first year teacher and want to test you, which is especially hard when you realize that. So the first year is really difficult, and so the biggest accomplishment is getting through it, right? And being able to leave at the end of the year and go enjoy your summer and say, I made it through the first year. And before I got here, I've had a couple of different jobs. I've had a career as a journalist, most recently. With the pandemic kind of shook my life up, as it does for a lot of people. I was laid off from my job at the beginning of the pandemic, and then started writing as a reporter for a online news outlet. I have a journalism degree, and I had worked in marketing jobs for most of the first part of my career. I graduated in 2013 from Sam Houston with a degree in mass communications with a print emphasis. And so my original plan was to stay in writing and copywriting jobs, but I always wanted to be a teacher. I'm looking forward to feeling more confident in the classroom, feeling like I am not so overwhelmed by the newness, that I can rest on the skills that I built last year to kind of help me with, you know, behavior and kind of guiding kids through kind of structures in the class that I'm not new to those anymore, and so I can teach them confidently. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to reading new books with them, because there's always new books coming out. As an English teacher, I feel that I should and am an avid reader. I'm always reading something myself, so I have a long library list of new things I'm reading, so I look forward to introducing them to some new stuff. So yeah, it'll be a great year.
So I was nominated for the Campus Teacher of the Year by my colleagues, which was amazing, especially considering this last year was my first year at the high school. So the fact that I could make that kind of impact was crazy to me. From there, I had to write a bunch of essays, do a couple interviews, and then end of the year, they did a ceremony. I was very proud, very excited. I pride myself on my hard work, so it was nice to have that acknowledged. We don't really look for acknowledgements, and teachers don't usually receive many acknowledgements, but it was nice to see that had been seen and that my passion was acknowledged. More than anything, I was very proud of my students, because without them in the building, without what we do together in that classroom every day, I would not be the kind of teacher that I am. Social studies has always been my passion. History education and humanities education is oftentimes overlooked. We often focus on things like science and technology and math, which can make you a lot of money, but it doesn't teach you about humanity and how to connect to each other and how to disagree with someone. And I think a lot of the problems that we're having nowadays comes from a lack of being able to see through the viewpoint of another. So for me, when I go into my classroom, that's what I'm trying to teach. I'm trying to get my students to understand what it's like to walk in someone else's shoes. Because most of them, they're not going to be historians. They're not going to go on and study history, although as much as I would like that, as much as I would like them to do that, it's not realistic. But each and every one of them is a citizen, or they exist in this world, and they need to be connected to each other. I am always willing to help out around here. I'm always willing, if a teacher needs my assistance, I'm always willing to be a team player with them. I worked with Mr. Weir in the theater department last year, which was amazing. We actually made school history by taking the students farther in the competition than Stafford High School has ever gone. But I think more than anything, my first year at the high school, being voted the campus teacher and then the district teacher was incredible.